Good Tuesday morning, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and thank you kindly for joining us on the Jerry and Jerry Show. An absolute pleasure to connect with you guys through the I Love CVille Network on a show that spotlights and showcases a Virginia Sports Hall of Famer, Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe, the namesake of JerryRatcliffe.com. It's the best platform possible, JerryRatcliffe.com, for anything and everything UVA sports related. $8 a month, a subscriber wall called Cavalier Exclusive. That is 2 to 3 pieces of content today that you can find nowhere else. The $8 a month, the best money you will spend if you're a Virginia sports fan. Right now on JerryRatcliffe.com, there's content about DeRitter, about Sam Lewis, about Grunloh, and their potential return to the University of Virginia as Ryan Odom prepares for year 2. We're going to talk about his inaugural campaign today on the program, a historic 30-win season. Yes, it ended in bittersweet fashion, a loss to Tennessee, but still a lot to celebrate, and a core nucleus set to return next year. We have basketball to cover. We have women's hoops to cover. We have football to cover. Chandler Morris shocks Wahoo Nation, saying he is looking to return to the University of Virginia for a 7th season if he gets the green light in a court far, far away. A lot to cover on the show. We'll give props to Judah Wickhauer behind the camera. Judah, without further ado, if you can go to the 2-shot and welcome a known commodity in Wahoo Nation, Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe, my friend. Good Tuesday morning to you.
Good morning to you as well. It's nice to be back in Charlottesville after a whirlwind trip to Philly, and hopefully the weather's going to warm up now for a little while.
Why don't we start there? Give the viewers and listeners what it's like to be an award-winning sports columnist and sports writer covering the NCAA tournament in the city of brotherly love. Just give us the itinerary.
It's I don't even know how to describe it. You have your routines that you go through, but part of it is fun, just getting back together with some of the media you've known, and some basketball people that you've gotten to know over the years. And one of my great joys from that trip was sitting down for the pregame media meal in the arena up there with Dick Weiss, better known as Hoops to everybody in the nation who knows college basketball. He's one of the greatest college basketball writers in history. Used to break every story in the book on basketball for the New York Daily News, and he's still cranking stuff out, and still one of the most respected basketball people in the nation. And when you're sitting at a table with Dick Weiss having a casual meal, anybody in that arena who is anybody in basketball drops by and kisses the ring because he's so well respected. Fran Dunphy and everybody was stopping by saying hi to Hoops. That's still one of the biggest joys to me, is just the associations you've built through the years with some of the people. And but that, and just the routine covering of the game and post-game stuff, and then you try to crank out your story and get back to the hotel or hit the road, whichever is on your itinerary, and it can make for a long weekend or a long week, depending on what tournament you're covering. But it's still fun. That's the main thing.
A tough loss, and we loved his content, guys.
Yeah, it was a tough loss.
JerryRatcliffe.com had fantastic content on the loss to Tennessee. Where do you want to begin with that one?
It's good seeing Rick Barnes again, too. Got to know him a little bit when he was at Clemson, the Clemson coach. In fact, one of my former beat writers, a guy named Chris Wallace, who was a terrific golfer, he and I used to combine golf trips on our basketball journeys to cover Virginia. And we were down at Clemson. It was hard to find a place to play, and I interviewed Rick Barnes just before we got down there, and he says, "Well, you can play at my club." He says, "Just tell him Rick told you to put it on my tab." But I've known him for ever since then, and he's just a really good guy, a good man. I still admire what he did for Dick Vitale when Dick was going through his battle with cancer. Rick Barnes sent him a personal note, personal prayer every day, every single day, and you don't find that kind of devotion
Anywhere
today.
Yeah.
It's not much anyway. But he's a good man.
He is 71, 72 years old, Rick Barnes.
Yeah.
He's got the energy of a 42-year-old.
Grew up in Hickory, North Carolina.
He was fiery on the sidelines. Is got a true contender in Tennessee. That Kevin Durant-esque freshman.
Nate Ament.
Oh my God, that guy's
from the state of Virginia.
Right. From the state, one of the most highly touted recruits in the country, a McDonald's All-American. The comparisons to Kevin Durant, either fair or unfair, that guy was ridiculous.
And he's been playing hurt.
He's busted ankle.
Yeah, and a sprained knee too,
Yeah.
I think.
And he still was the best player on the floor.
Yeah.
He was could handle, he could shoot, he could drive, he could post, he could finish, he can rebound, and he's probably 30 pounds underweight. I can't even imagine what's going to happen when he puts on 30 pounds of muscle.
In Tennessee, I thought they were underseeded to begin with.
100%.
After seeing them in person, there's no doubt that they should have been a 3 seed or whatever. They're really good, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them win that region, to tell you the truth.
The loss to Virginia, the loss to Tennessee, Virginia's loss to Tennessee was kind of indicative with how UVA finished much of the season. UVA, to close the campaign, did not put its best basketball together for a lot of contests, but still figured out ways to squeak out victories because of resilience, because of depth, because of coaching. One guy or another comes out late. Against Tennessee, it just did not click from start to finish, and still they had an opportunity to win. This is a game that had a missed layup by Jakari, a missed wide open baseline coffin corner 3 from Jakari. Hall, a tough inbound pass, and I understand we have the benefit of hindsight and Tuesday morning quarterbacking here. Not the best showing. We're going to talk the positive here in a matter of moments. What did you see went against Virginia's way against the Volunteers?
Yeah, well, again, part of all that was due to Tennessee's length, I think, and athleticism, and that's been. I don't know if Achilles' heel is proper terminology on this or not, but that's the one thing that has been the bugaboo, I guess, for Virginia, is if they run into a team with great length and athleticism. They did that against Texas, but the Texas we're seeing now is not the Texas that Virginia faced in December. Not saying that Virginia still wouldn't win, but it's a different Texas team now. And Duke to some degree, and they take things away from you. They take some of your strengths away. They get out on the 3-point line, and they don't give you easy shots, and they make it tough inside on your big players. And Ugo and Grunloh weren't nearly as effective in the middle against the Vols as they had been, and DeRitter. I was glad to see him. He had an incredibly strong second half. It was almost like he was trying to will Virginia to win. And,
I thought that's exactly what he was doing.
yeah, and he didn't leave anything on the court. He put himself out there, and they almost pulled it off. And it would have been a great win. Certainly no shame in losing that game because they gave it a good effort. Their defense wasn't quite as good as Odom would hoped it would be. It was a pretty physical game, and we thought it would be. Both teams play very physically, and I think Ryan got upset think the officials, some of the calls were not made, and I think it got under his skin a little bit. And but it was a valiant effort, and Virginia has nothing to hang their heads over. It's been a spectacular season. Only the 6th time in Virginia history that they've won 30 games, and 4 of those were by Tony Bennett, 1 by Terry Holland and Ralph Sampson, and this year, and that's
history.
That's history right there.
I mean, folks, we Virginia basketball finished with 30 wins in Ryan Odom's first year with a completely new team, with a team that had no experience playing together in a coach's first year, ladies and gentlemen. And this is coming off the heels of 11-win football season.
Yeah.
The most win in football program history in a single season.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been, we should pinch ourselves.
If you're a Wahoo fan, you got to be glorious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a year to remember.
This has been some of the best 7.5 months of Wahoo sports fandom.
No question. And I hope people are enjoying it because
Same.
There's no guarantees you'll have another one like that anytime soon, even though there's a possibility, but they don't come that often.
Right. I mean, you've been doing this for hell a lot longer than me. Like I say this on the show, my dad went to UVA. I've been watching UVA sports since I was knee-high to my dad. I mean, we're talking 40 years for me. Mm-hmm. And granted, all 40 years, you're not necessarily remembering or experiencing things when you were 5 or 6 like you're doing now as a father of 2 and are sharing the same memories with your 2 boys.
Right.
Now I have 2 boys that are knee-high to me going to games and doing what I did with my brother and I and my dad. But the last 7 months have been truly magic in our household. Like our boys have looked forward to Saturday football and what's basketball doing. Our oldest, he's just turned 8 this, goodness gracious, 4 days ago.
He's probably starting to
He loves
the
it.
age where he really appreciates
100%.
it and understands it. Yeah,
100%. You're exactly right. I mean, he's a father. Stayed up with us and watched the Virginia-Tennessee game. Mm-hmm. Sitting on the lazy boy together, both of us on one chair, cheering the game. And James Watson, we're going to get to James Watson's comments here in a matter of moments. The Dallin Hall, did it touch his finger or not? And we have that story at jerryratcliffe.com.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it here, but jerryratcliffe.com, the first to talk about this. That's why you want to be a paying subscriber, $8 a month, the best content possible. My 8-year-old's like, it didn't touch him. It didn't touch him.
It didn't look like
it. It didn't look like it touched him at all. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think the officials slowed it down, and got it to the most. And I don't know where they might have gone to another studio to. They can break those things down into milliseconds on their screen in the truck or something. But I think the officials did everything they could to make sure they got that call right. And even though to most of us it didn't look like he touched it, he actually did. It grazed his finger or fingers. And being the Captain America that he is, the honest guy, and believing in the honor code and all this stuff, he said after the game that it did touch his finger. So the officials did get the call right. And it's a tough break because you don't know what might have happened had he gone the other way.
It speaks to Hall's integrity. After the game, he said, it did touch me. And Gene Steratore, the CBS, how would you characterize it? Lead whistle for CBS broadcasts. Mm-hmm. Let's call him that.
Main review guy.
The main review guy. Replay guy. He made the point, he goes, the call on the floor was that it was Tennessee's ball. And there's not indisputable evidence.
Yeah, that's the key thing.
To overturn the call.
Right.
And the fan in me said, that didn't touch Hall. But it was such a bang-bang close play that then the analytical side of me said, damn it, he's right.
Yeah.
It's not clear. And James Watson's watching the program. He bleeds orange and blue. He's got kids that watch UVA sports with him. Said seemed like that out of bounds call on Hall was a bit of a momentum killer. Didn't seem like a good call. The ball never changed its trajectory. That's what I thought. That's what everyone thought, James.
Yeah. And it may not, depending on, how the velocity of the ball and how much it might have just grazed his fingertips, but
Well, Hall confirmed it did.
yeah. But the fact that it did, and the velocity of the ball, it might not have changed trajectory unless you got a real solid touch to it. It might have just grazed it did just graze his fingers, but it may have been a graze as opposed to a real contact kind of thing, where it wouldn't change the trajectory,
He's got commentary on this on JerryRatcliffe.com, where we encourage you to be a paying subscriber. In fact, just 2 minutes ago, a new paying subscriber to JerryRatcliffe.com.
Thank you.
Greg Menke is now following Jerry Ratcliffe's content.
Appreciate it, Greg.
Yeah, literally 2 minutes ago. James also says, do we think Ryan Odom has the expertise? He says Virginia expertise on finding talent since he wants to. I'm going to try to interpret his comment here. He's saying, does Ryan Odom have the expertise to continue finding this talent and building this program and moving it forward?
Oh, without a doubt. He's won everywhere he's been. UMBC, Utah State, VCU, all of those schools, by the way, were in the NCAA tournament this year, all of his former schools. He learned from one of the best recruiters who ever lived, in his father, Dave Odom, about how to mine talent and find it. And plus he has the great connections overseas to find talent from there. He's been doing that for a while. So without a doubt, he has the expertise to find talent. And not only can he do that now, but he has some Virginia history he can point to and say, look what we did this past year, just putting our first team together from scratch. We won 30 games. How many other teams in the country won 30 games? And so I don't think he would have too much trouble convincing people that he can bring them into his program and win.
Well, and I hate to say this, and Renee Pettiford is watching North Carolina. We're going to get to your comments here, Renee. John Holt, Vanessa Parkhill, William McChesney, Jeremy Wilson in Eastern Tennessee. We got West Virginia on the feed, Pennsylvania on the feed, Kentucky, Georgia, North Carolina, the panhandle of Florida, so much of the Commonwealth watching the program right now. This, the water cooler of content and conversation for anything Virginia sports related. We welcome Brad Birch now, 1 minute ago, as a paying subscriber of Jerry Ratcliffe.
Thank you, Brad.
Brad
Appreciate
Birch,
you, brother.
Welcome to the family, Brad Birch. $8 a month, guys, for the best content possible.
Cup of coffee.
It's a cup of coffee here. Jeremy Ronica, Jeremy who, we're going to get to your comments about DeRitter and Grunloh and whether they're coming back. He actually has that breaking news on JerryRatcliffe.com. Hootie does. Specifically about DeRitter and Grunloh. We'll talk about it on the show here. I'll throw this to you here. And I hate to say this, but it's also the facts. Virginia's alumni base and the wealth in this alumni, how wealthy this alumni base is, it's no coincidence, folks, that Virginia football posted the most wins in program history, followed by a basketball team that logged 30 victories with how wealthy this alumni is. There's a clear correlation with funding NIL and the wealth with this alumni base and Virginia's success.
This is what happens when you go all in, when you buy in. And Virginia was reluctant to do so. They kind of put their toe in the water a couple of years ago and saw that, hey, there might be something to this. And And again, that's a toe in the water, and that's nothing like being all in. And once they went all in, somebody said this a couple of years ago, that with Virginia's wealth from its alumni, if they want to be, they can be the New York Yankees of college sports. And we're seeing some evidence of that.
I mean, first season is this.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first full year of Virginia buying into the NIL, and you look and see, you can see the results. It's right there, smack dab in front of you. Most wins in a season in Virginia's football history, 120 years. Only the sixth 30-win season in college in Virginia basketball history. The other sports are blossoming. Virginia women's basketball, who's gotten some NIL.
Sweet 16.
They're in the Sweet 16.
Swimming and diving.
Swimming and diving is the biggest dynasty in swimming history. The baseball team's ranked in the top 10 in the country, and we know about the golf and tennis and lacrosse and softball and all that. They're all doing well, and so it's right there in front of you. And I know there's a lot of other schools, even in this conference, even in this state, that are very envious of what UVA has going for it. And the money keeps coming in. They just got a great gift. Stories on our site this past week. $1 million for basketball and golf. So keep those funds rolling in.
100%. Amen, brother. Renee Pettiford's got comments. We love Renee. She's a super fan.
Yep.
Renee, I appreciate your fandom. I appreciate what you're doing in the UVA sports groups with the screenshot and the content sharing. I sincerely mean this, Renee. I've never met you in person. Feel like I know you, Renee. I respect your fandom tremendously. I admire it.
Absolutely.
She says in the comments section that I saw Malik Thomas, and J-Dubs, check out the feed there. She says, I saw Malik Thomas, his Instagram page, and he got a car with his NIL money. A car with his NIL money.
I think a lot of those guys did.
Yeah, a lot of them did. And she also says this, her late dad made her a UVA men's basketball fan. And she says she loves getting the emails from Hootie in her inbox. She must be a subscriber as well. Jeremy Hu is watching the program. He said he ran into you at the ACC tournament.
Yep, sure did.
Jeremy Ronica.
Yep.
He says you're an absolute class act.
Well, thank you. That's very kind. Appreciate it.
He is a diehard Virginia fan, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah, there's no question about it. We talked for a little while in one of the aisles up there, I think.
He says that what's the scoop on DeRitter and Grunloh coming back? This is on JerryRatcliffe.com for subscribers. Hootie, I think we can talk about it on the program.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that Grunloh will return. He revealed to us after the game, by the way, that he was playing with a fractured hand ever since the NC State game. They tried to kind of keep that hush-hush and played with the wrappings on it, but they didn't want to let people know that it was fractured to that point to where he really couldn't do much with it.
I think it looked obvious for anyone that follows Virginia sports.
Yeah, I don't think people knew it was to that degree, but that maybe it was just sore or something, but it's definitely fractured. And so I don't think there's ever been a doubt that he's going to return.
And he has 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine this guy putting on 20 pounds of muscle between now and next season, folks.
And then they've got the right guy in strength and conditioning, maybe the best in the country to do that. So, and then as far as DeRitter goes, he was really emotional after that game, and a lot of emotions streaming through him. He really wanted to win, and he was really attached to this team. He said it was a lot like one of the teams he played for overseas, and so he said he was definitely open to returning. and I assumed that he said he wanted to sit down and talk now that the season's over. So I imagine that they'll be doing some negotiating with NIL.
I thought that's what DeRidder said. DeRidder, of any guy on this roster, is the most seasoned on the court and off the court. And by off the court is this guy's a professional basketball player.
He is.
And DeRidder was caught up in the emotion, used terminology like family, and how it was clear how emotionally attached he was, as you said, to the program. He's also a professional basketball player. And his word choice, I don't want to use the word coy, but it was certainly selective. Right. And it alluded to me, you're the professional here, but what I gathered from that is, hey, look, I just made first team all conference. I'm the best guy on this team here.
Pay me.
It's time to pay me. This is what I do for a living. And he deserves the money.
He does. He does.
Is that what you took out of it?
He's first team all ACC.
Right.
And a lot of people didn't think that would happen under the way, even though Virginia was number 2 in the conference, some people didn't think that he would justly be voted on the first team. I was hoping that he would because I thought he deserved it. It's time to pay him, and that's today's expectations, and he's worth the money.
He's worth the money.
I mean, if you look at that, and Sam Lewis has already said he is coming back. So if you have Grunloh, Lewis, and DeRidder, that's 3 of your 5 starters returning, and Chance Mallory could have been the starter. So you have 4 starters coming back to form the nucleus of next year's team. And how many people in the country have essentially 4 starters returning of that ilk who won 30 games? And you can enhance your roster through the portal, obviously. So if I'm a Virginia fan, I got to be really fired up right now about the chances of Virginia basketball just on a roll. Silas Barksdale came out and said that redshirting was the best thing he ever did, that he's bigger and stronger and more ready for college basketball now. He's a 6'9" guy who's physical and has 4 years ahead of him. You got a couple other guys on the roster who are expected to return. Maybe not. You never know. But what a nucleus to build on for next year, and the portal will be opening up in a couple of weeks, day after I think the national championship game. So I'm sure they're already beating the bushes, seeing who's intending in going into the portal. Those announcements are already coming out on Twitter that all these guys have announced they're going to be in the portal. So
the portal's a season by itself.
It is. It truly is.
It's a season, folks. And he's covering this basketball team, the football team, anything UVA sports related better and more than anyone else at JerryRatcliffe.com. We'll welcome Wells Bates as a paying subscriber of JerryRatcliffe.com.
Thank you, Wells. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep, absolutely. Wells Bates, Brad Birch, and Greg Menke have joined the family over at JerryRatcliffe.com since the show has started.
Thank you.
$8 a month, the best content possible. I'm thinking of DeRidder as it applies to and his upside and his value. And it's not an apples to apples comparison because Yaxel Lenenberg of Michigan is a better player. He's a point forward. He's a lottery pick. He said going into this NCAA tournament, Yaxel Lenenberg, that Kentucky offered him $7 to $9 million
right
to transfer to be a Wildcat, to play for Coach Pope. $7 to $9 million, according to Michigan's point forward, Yaxel Lenenberg. Now, he's got more upside. He's a superstar. I'm not knocking DeRidder, but Yaxel Lenenberg is one of the best players in college basketball.
Yeah.
His value
is, no question.
Yeah, $7 to $9 million to go from UAB to Kentucky. He selected Michigan and ended up playing basketball as a Wolverine. From my standpoint, DeRidder's the best player on the roster. My standpoint, DeRidder's going to be one of the best returning players in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Without a doubt.
First team All ACC. I can't even imagine what DeRidder's going to be like in college basketball as, what, a 24-year-old.
He could be the MVP next year.
He could be the conference player of the year and probably maybe will be the preseason player of the year.
Yeah. Probably should be.
Probably should be because Boozer's gone.
Yeah.
He's going to be a top 4 pick. Value of DeRidder for this team, monetary, off court, on court, and maybe most importantly, how Odom can use a DeRidder to attract other talent from the portal to Charlottesville.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want to play with DeRidder? He's a beast, and when he gets into beast mode, there's just no stopping him. I mean, we saw what happened in the second half. He got the ball and he wanted to score on a drive. He was going to find a way to score on a drive, and he could do so many things. And I know he has his detractors, and some people don't like his overall game, but I think he's.
What's the detraction on DeRidder? What, the athleticism?
Yeah.
That he's not a great leaper?
Yeah, and he doesn't play great defense, blah, blah, blah. But I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't know what couldn't ask much more out of a player than what he gave this team this year.
100%.
And he's only going to get better.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with everything you just said right there. And here's another thing. You want a scary thought? Imagine Chance playing 32 minutes of contest.
Yeah. Exactly.
33 minutes of contest as the starting point guard and doesn't have to split 50% of the time.
If you can play 30 minutes in that system, that's hard to do.
Right. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. Well, I think, in that championship game, I think 2 guys actually did play 30 minutes. DeRidder played 31 minutes, 27 seconds. And Dallin Hall played 30 minutes, 19 seconds. And Jakari actually played almost 28 minutes.
Because Chance on the
22,
season,
21 minutes. Chance played 25 minutes.
Yeah, and I think he probably on the season averaged around 20 minutes of contest.
Yeah, probably.
Imagine 50% more production time.
Yeah,
potential production time.
Yeah, and it's hard to do in that system because it pushes you physically. Because not only are you working hard on the offensive end, but most of these guys are picking up people full court and pressing,
especially the guards.
And especially the guards. And so it's challenging, it's demanding, and you have to come out and get a breath every now and then. But it's his job next year, and woe be those who matched up with him one-on-one because he's going to take their cheese.
That's good. That was really good. What is the, do we know, there's so little about the NIL and compensation out there. Are they yearly contracts?
Yes.
So
I think there's some exceptions. I think the Duke guy, for instance,
the quarterback,
I think he signed a 2-year deal for $8 million and then broke the deal.
And then they tried to sue him.
Yeah, but I think there are some of those. I think most of them are 1-year deals.
So a guy like Chance deserves to get paid. DeRidder certainly deserves to get paid.
I'm sure Chance is getting paid.
Yeah, absolutely, Chance is getting paid. Grunloh should get paid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Sam Lewis was at times the best player on the floor.
Yes.
This 4 core guys back, plus Silas coming off a red shirt, I would not be surprised if Elijah Gertrude enters the transfer portal. Let's see. He will have potentially more minutes he can earn now that the backcourt is unclogged with Thomas and Jakari White gone.
Right, and Hall.
Who was the biggest loss of Jakari, Hugo, Thomas, and Hall?
I think Hugo, just because of the presence he had in the middle. And even though he didn't start, he probably had more court time than Grunloh did, and because of the variety of things he brings to the table. He didn't come here as a scorer, but he left here as a guy who can get you points in the paint and even occasional three. He ended up with the second highest single-season block shot total in UVA history. Prior to his arrival, the top 4 slots were all held by Ralph Sampson. 4 years, 4 incredible years of block shots. Ugo slid up to the number 2, the second most in one season in UVA history, going past 3 of Ralph's efforts, which says a lot because we haven't seen anybody like that around these parts in 30, 40 years or something. So yeah, I think he's a big loss, and plus he was a great locker room guy, and I don't know how much of a vocal leader he was because they had plenty of leaders on the team, but I'm sure his court presence and is a way to affect shots that he didn't block leaves a big hole in the middle, even though Grunloh is returning. He's a different kind of center. But they're going to miss all those guys because they all had brought various things to the table. And Jakari, when he got hot, almost everybody expected every time he released the ball for it to go in, kind of like when Kyle Guy was here. He put one up, and you pretty much thought it was going in.
This is dating me a little bit, but Jakari White reminded me of Vinny the Microwave Johnson with the bad boy Detroit Pistons.
That's a good point.
Where he would come off the bench, and when he started making a couple, next thing you know, Vinny Johnson could make 6, 7, 8 threes and change the game and be the best player on the floor.
Yeah. They get on a heater.
Yeah.
You can't
Best of the
stop
Hoops, huge.
Yeah.
For those guys.
Absolutely.
We'll welcome.
And Sam Lewis is the same way.
We'll welcome JM040171 at hotmail.com as a paying subscriber now.
Oh, awesome.
Of JerryRatcliffe.com.
Thank you, JM. Whatever your real name is.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just joined the family. $8 a month for the best Virginia sports content possible that is literally not available anywhere else. Commentary from Hall about touching the ball and Chandler Morris, a Chandler Morris story, which we're going to get to, potentially returning. He hopes for another year here in Charlottesville, which would, if that does happen, then good God, Tony Elliott has 3 starting quarterbacks in his quarterback room. I mean, it would be an abundance of riches. Yeah. Jinx, touch something red. You want me a Coke there, Hootie?
All right.
Yeah.
I'll buy you one.
Yeah, an abundance of riches for Tony Elliott. We got a lot we still want to talk about. This one's coming from Jeremy Huey. He says he hopes Ryan Odom brings in a big that has an offensive presence in the paint. He felt like Virginia had fantastic rim protection, but lacked from time to time offensively at the 5 spot. What are your thoughts?
Go through that again. I was kind of spacing when you said that.
You were thinking about that soda over there, Scott Sherman. We're gonna get to your comment here in a matter of moments as well. Jeremy, who would like to see with the transfer portal,
right?
A 5 come a center,
yeah,
that has offensive.
I'm sure that they're going to look at that. Yeah, I mean, look how effective they were with those 2 guys this past season, and that means you got 40 minutes of a 7-footer in there or somebody of that size, and there's no drop off. And how many people can say that? You don't find that hardly anywhere in college basketball. Certain teams have it. I mean, Tennessee did, but I'm sure they're looking hard to find another physical presence kind of center instead of a stretch 5, which is more what Grunloh is, even though he's an excellent shot blocker too. But I think they would still like to have another really physical guy in the middle. And I guarantee you they're beating the bushes right now looking looking for one of those.
Well, and that's the point. Scott German, who's a fantastic writer.
Scott German is one of the best people I know.
He's watching the program. He leaves this comment. Odom and his staff did a fantastic job of recruiting the transfer portal in what was basically a few weeks. The staff has had all season to look at possible transfers. They could and may have a top 10 transfer portal class.
He's exactly right. He's exactly right. I mean, who wouldn't want to be part of this?
Yeah.
Look what Tony Bennett did to put this program back on the map, and had 4 30-win seasons, a national championship. Should have gone to the Final Four at least one other, if not 2 other times. Won ACC tournament titles. Then we had a little bit of a drop-off, and now they're back with a 30-win season almost overnight. You got, like we said, essentially possibly 4 starters returning.
A boatload of money, fantastic facilities, rabid fan base,
Yeah.
quality of life.
I mean, what more could you ask for? You got
ESPN TV contract.
a coaching staff that the players love.
Players coach, a players coach, a guy that likes to play depth and a lot of guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're going to come here and sit on the bench.
Yeah, a point guard and chance that can penetrate and kick and dish and is unselfish.
Sign me up.
I know. Let's go. If only we were 6'7" and could jump and had a jump shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we don't, and that's why we're here.
Exactly. I think Scott German hit it right on the nail. I mean, they could easily have and I don't know how many people they want to sign. They've obviously lost 5 guys, but they could easily have a top 10 portal class. No question about it. The money's there. The availability's there. The playing time is there. What an opportunity for some guys looking to, they may have never played in the NCAA tournament before, and like some of these guys had not. So, wow. I think you're only doing yourself a favor if you sign with Ryan Odom.
Amen, brother. Philip Dow of Scottsville watching the show. Vicky Harris watching the program. And got folks watching as far as Utah on the feed.
Wow, that's awesome.
The first time
Welcome,
I've ever mentioned Utah on the program.
Yeah.
Holly Foster is watching in Henrico. She wants to talk about the women's team who just beat Iowa and Iowa City. Now in the Sweet 16, the women's team is the Cinderella of March, folks. They are in the Sweet 16. They played TCU, the Horned Frogs. They are a 9.5-point underdogs, but throw out the betting lines when you got Kamora Johnson on the roster. It's a Saturday 7:30 p.m. matchup on ESPN. How about the 22-11 Cinderella dancing women's basketball team, Hoots?
You got to be happy for them. They have worked so hard to get where they are, and had some disappointments along the way. But that's all faded into the past now. They're the darlings of women's basketball right now. And we know what that felt like in the early 90s with Debbie Ryan and Tammy Reese, who, by the way, congratulations to Tammy. She's been a friend ever since she was here. I kept up with her all these years. She was just named the new head coach at Florida yesterday. So she and Dawn Staley are going to be
Rivals
now down in the SEC. But yeah, congratulations to Coach Mox and Mo Johnson and all the others. Fantastic pulling these out in overtimes. Great upsets, and more power to them. I hope they get in the Final Four. That would be great.
It's important to reiterate, folks, it's no coincidence that football, the most wins in program history, basketball, 30 wins, women's basketball in the Sweet 16. Baseball just beat up Wake Forest, a top 25 team.
Yeah, just had their way with them pretty much.
Had their way with them. Tennis is one of the best programs in the country. Golf, one of the best programs in the country. A team I follow closely, squash, a top 10 program nationally. Women's UVA swimming. Is that 6 straight national champ?
Yeah, 6 straight.
6? I mean, that's a dynasty.
It is. The swimming experts in this country say it's the greatest dynasty in college swimming history.
Unbelievable.
And
I mean, you're talking a dynasty that rivals UCLA basketball. And John Wooden, how many did he have in a row? I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm not sure, but he had. I think he had 11 overall.
11 overall, right?
And
swimming's won 6 in a row.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Olympians,
world records. They've got it all.
The money is and the activity. There's a saying in business, and activity breeds activity.
Mm-hmm.
That saying from business applies to college sports. Activity breeds activity. When they win and produce, more money comes in.
Yeah.
And I hate to say this, and frankly, I may be changing my tune as it applies to the NIL and this pay-for-play college sports, because it's clearly benefiting the University of Virginia, and it's clearly working against Virginia Tech, which makes me even more happy here. But as they win, Virginia is getting more donations coming in.
I would think so. And I forget the guy's name, the guy that started Reddit.
Alexis Ohanian, Judah?
I think that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Serena Williams' husband, right?
Yep.
He's a UVA grad, and he's heavily donated to the women's basketball program. So hats off to him. And
started Reddit at a booth at the Waffle House.
Really?
In Charlottesville.
Wow. That's awesome.
There's a plaque, a small one, at the booth that he sat at with his co-founder in Charlottesville while launching.
Is that the one on 29 or the other one?
The one on 29.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the one down Fifth Street Extended
that one's gone.
Is the Tobacco Hut now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's the one that I go to.
That's the one that you know.
Well, I'll have to look
for that plaque.
I'm in there.
Yeah. Launched Reddit out of that booth.
Isn't
on
that
29.
amazing?
Yeah. Amazing.
Wow.
And he's got 2 daughters and prides himself in supporting women's sports as a father of 2 student athletes, young daughters, and of course, a better half, Serena Williams, arguably the greatest women's tennis player in history.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
question.
incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jeffrey Woodruff, the data science guy, the top donor in UVA history across the board, literally number 1, funded the data science school. He funded the Boar's Head, supporting the squash program.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's folks like this that make Virginia sports, prime time.
Exactly. It goes all the way back to Carl Smith and some of those folks, who I knew Carl very well back in the day when he made at that time the largest gift in college sports history, and to redo Scott Stadium.
Jennifer Nunley Huck's watching the program, and don't forget about softball at 27-3.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. There's so many sports it's hard to remember them all.
27-3.
The track and field team's doing well too.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the tennis team has got legitimate tennis pros playing for free at the Boar's Head. Like, we're talking professional tennis players.
Yeah.
That you guys can go and watch for free, play tennis and doubles, and interact with them.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It is.
What's happening here. And speaking of talents, Jerry Ratcliffe subscribers got this today, the first to get it. Chandler Morris news.
Chandler Morris, who we all know, filed a lawsuit last month. Months are running by here, but to gain a 7th year of eligibility that he felt like he got cheated out of at TCU when the year he won the starting job. I think it was 22. Hurt his knee in the first game, sat out almost the entire season. Coaches I think, inappropriately threw him in for mop-up duty at the end of the season and burned a year of eligibility for him, which they should not have done. And he's fighting to get that year back. And he has come out and said that
this is wild here.
Yeah, and his father, Chad, confirmed it, that if he wins his court case, and I think there's a good chance he will.
Because there's a precedent on this.
There is a precedent.
Yeah.
And that he plans on coming back to Virginia. And if he does, like we said a minute ago, Tony Elliott's got to be one of the happiest guys on the Eastern Seaboard, because he's got 3 starting quarterbacks. Eli Holstein,
Pittsburgh Panthers,
Bo Pribola,
Mizzou,
and Chandler Morris in his coffers. And wow, I mean, that's amazing. I don't know what may happen. It's hard to keep 3 quarterbacks happy.
Well, do you? I hope to God that happens. An abundance of
Well, I
riches.
do too, because Chandler Morris is a great guy.
Great kid.
I got to know him a little bit throughout this season, and he's everything you want in a college quarterback or a teammate or a leader on your team. Not only is he a good quarterback, but he's just a good guy overall, and a very modest kid. He's kind of the Dallin Hall of the football team. And if he has an ego, he doesn't show it. And he's a great team leader, and he's got all the tools. And he produced 11 wins this past season. Nobody in Virginia history has done that. So I remember Bronco Mendenhall, I asked him once how he judges a quarterback. He says, I judge a quarterback on if he can win a championship or not. And he led Virginia to the ACC regular season #1 spot. And not many people have done that in Virginia history either. So having him back, Pribula, and then Holstein, that's I don't know how you could ask for more than that. That somebody may get happy feet.
That's what I'm going to ask you. If that happens, what could happen with one of the 3 guys leaving? Is that your expectation?
Under today's atmosphere, more than likely somebody will leave.
And it would probably be the Missouri quarterback.
And they would leave probably quickly,
Yeah,
I would think.
And I think it would be the Missouri quarterback, because the Pitt guy has come here probably under the impression that he's the quarterback of the future at UVA.
Yeah, because he has more eligibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but it would not be shocking if that happened. And Pribula seems like a really good kid too. We met him last week with some interviews, and seems very Chandler Morris-like, actually. Seems like the same kind of kid, cut from the same cloth.
JerryRatcliffe.com, guys. You're going to want to subscribe to the website. It's $8 a month. It is the best $8 you will spend if you have UVA sports fandom or passion.
Yeah, it's one day you're not going through the Starbucks drive-thru.
It's literally $8 a month, and you're getting content that no one else is covering. He had the Dallin Hall story where Hall says, I touched the ball. I mean, talk about honor and integrity. He had the Chandler Morris that he just covered right there. You got a afternoon piece of content that's coming out.
Yeah, some football news from Tony Elliott's presser yesterday.
William McChesney highlights that Blake Buchanan is still alive.
Iowa State.
The former Virginia big man is alive and kicking for the Cyclones in the NCAA tournament.
Would have been interesting to see him and Ugo matched up against each other.
I would have loved. I was hoping the same. Comments continue to come in. Olivia Branch watching the program.
Hey, Olivia.
The Queen of Keswick, she's
Yep.
watching the show. We love Olivia. She gives us the heart emoji. Dale Thompson, welcome to the broadcast. Give some insight to the viewers and listeners what they can expect content-wise at jerryratcliffe.com.
Obviously, now that basketball has come to a conclusion, men's-wise, we'll be following the women on their quest out in California, Sacramento. Spring football is alive and well. I think they've had 4 or 5 practices now. Spring game is in next month, and they have 15 practices over like a month period to spread out. We'll have not daily, but almost daily reports from UVA football until spring game. Talking to players, talking to coaches, talking to the head coach. Had a good interview with a couple of the players last week that we still got to get to. It's hard to get to them during the basketball postseason, but I'm trying to think. A couple of the guys. Brandon Hillman, the defensive back from Michigan, who grew up in Portsmouth. We had a nice interview with him, having a feature on him in the coming days, and some of the other players on the roster. It won't be long before we'll be checking into the men's transfer portal in basketball.
Portal opens for men's basketball. I think it's April 7th, so in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. What day is the final championship?
I'd have to
I
look
think
it
it
up.
might be the day before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. So that, folks, when that portal opens, which I think is 2 weeks from now, that's a season of sports by itself.
Yes, no question about it.
And that is stuff that you are going to want to follow closely.
And it's going to be even more wild than last year because
100%.
The windows are shorter. As they call it, speed dating is going to be accelerated.
I like that.
They have little time to vet these guys. That's why they try to do so much in advance. They try to get them in for a visit and hope that they don't leave. But we'll be covering all that significantly. And spring sports, obviously, the top 10 baseball team is tearing it up. They play Maryland in Fredericksburg today.
That's right.
We'll be delving into baseball now that basketball has wound down, and hitting on all the other spring sports and keeping our eye on UVA in general, because it's nowadays, even though the seasons may be over, the football and basketball for sure are year-round. They never stop. There's always news coming out of those programs.
100%. 100%. Chad Wood in Crozet says, now I feel bad for crushing on Grunloh and knocking him because he didn't realize his wrist was fractured.
Well, yeah. A lot of people didn't, and that was the intent. They didn't want people to know. But you knew something was wrong when he had that open jump shot against
and he passed
Duke
on
and
it.
Didn't take it.
Well, in Tennessee, there was like a borderline scrum for a loose ball, a rebound under the hoop, and Grunloh wouldn't put his hand in there.
Yeah.
He was trying to get it with his left hand, and it was like, we follow this team. You follow this team as close as anyone in the world. Fortunately, I'm doing the show with you. I'm following this team really closely. It's very obvious, at least to me, that something was extremely seriously wrong with his hand.
Yeah, it was.
He couldn't catch the ball at times. He didn't want to shoot the ball.
Yeah,
Wide open jump shot. Yeah.
It was tough. It was tough, and but he still blocked shots. And
100%.
He still rebounded.
Blocking shots with his left hand.
Yeah, he's blocking it with his left hand.
It was unbelievable.
That one shot, he ran they ran the guy down full court and
Yeah.
blocked him from behind. That was very impressive.
I mean,
not many people could do that.
Right. Grunloh, folks, could be one of the best big men in college basketball next year with 20 pounds of additional muscle and one or two new post moves while working on that three-point shot as a stretch five a little more. Watch out for that. Jeremy Wilson's watching on Eastern Tennessee. He would love if you would consider for him and for the readers of JerryRatcliffe.com content on Eli Hamrick and the quarterbacks.
Yeah, we're hoping to. We had a interview with Pribula last week. We're waiting for them to bring us Holstein. I imagine he'll pop up in the interview schedule over the next week or two. So yeah, we'll definitely have something on Eli.
What a show. I mean, what a show. Viewers and listeners, JerryRatcliffe.com is who you subscribe, what you should be subscribing to if you want any Virginia sports content. I mean, I'm on it every day. He is churning content, and it is content you can't find anywhere else, especially in this news desert that is UVA Sports, where Lee Enterprises and some of these big box media content creators have chopped and whittled their writers down as if it was a number 2 pencil taking a standardized test. I mean, just a nub left that's out there, except for this man right here who is churning content, the award-winning content, back with 50 years of history of covering this program. What a show today.
You know, I used to know every sports editor in the state, at every city. And now I couldn't tell you the sports editor of any newspaper in the entire state of Virginia.
The only sports writers that I know.
They've all been run off.
They've been run off. The only sports writers that I know, you are number one. It's not even close. I know of David Teal. I know of Mike Barber, although Mike Barber's phenomenal. I don't even think he's a sports writer anymore. He's a content creator for a news website. Outside of that, I couldn't tell you one.
Yeah, and there used to be tons of us in this state. Some of the great sports sections on the East Coast used to be in the state of Virginia, and they've all been wiped out.
It's frankly, it's sad.
It is sad. I think I kind of went through the golden age of newspapers in terms of sports departments, and wish I'd seen it coming a little earlier.
Well, you know, hindsight's 2020. You're basically
Exactly.
saying, imagine if you had launched JerryRatcliffe.com 5 years earlier than you did.
Yeah, that would have
yeah.
been cool.
Hindsight's 2020, and I
Yeah.
totally get that. My first job out of the University of Virginia was working for this guy when the newspaper was owned, and he went through a number of iterations, including probably the best one was it the Worrell family, the best bosses.
Yeah, the best publisher I ever worked for was a guy named Bill Kirkland, who hired me here, and he was unbelievable. He was a huge sports fan. He was a Davidson grad and grew up in Durham, was a Duke fan, but he also loved UVA sports, and he didn't care how much it cost to cover Virginia. He even sent me to Japan and Alaska and places like that to cover Virginia. He said, wherever Virginia's going to be, you're going to be. And that's the way it was. And he didn't care how much it cost as long as it was good for the readership. And that was something that just didn't exist much long after he left town, and or anywhere else in the state for that matter. And I remember one time he even got into a brouhaha with the editor of the Chapel Hill newspaper, publisher rather, and they made a bet that when Virginia and North Carolina played, that the masthead of the newspaper would be printed in the color of the winning. If Virginia won, the Chapel Hill masthead, the Chapel Hill News would be in Virginia orange, and if Carolina won, the Daily Progress would have been in Carolina blue. That's how much of a sports fan he was.
Well, when I was working for you, I started seeing the writing on the wall. I worked for you for about 5 years when Media General was the owner. When I started, I used to go into the office supplies. Wasn't a closet, but it was kind of a filing cabinet that was large that had the pull up.
Yeah.
And you go in there when I started, and there would be the newspaper, the reporter notebooks that were handheld, the yellow legal pads, all the pens that you could want, 3 or 4 different types of pens, all the pads that you could want. And, when I needed something, I had office supplies. Then a few years went by, and there was less and less of that in there. Then finally, when it's time for me to find something else to do professionally, there was nothing there. And that's when they were cutting down on what games I could cover, where I could drive, on mileage.
Right.
And finally, the conversation was, you're going to start taking days off, and you're not going to get paid for these days off.
Right.
And you have no choice about these days
Yeah.
off. And at that point, I'm like, all right, it's time to do something else.
Yeah. When I went from an 8-man staff to a 2-man staff,
Yeah.
almost overnight, that was a pretty big sign that things were in trouble.
Things were in trouble. The classifieds were gone.
Yeah.
The all print advertising was gone. It was. I'll tell you what. That's to the benefit though of JerryRatcliffe.com, because if you want Virginia sports content coverage that you can't find anywhere else, it does cost money to produce it, and it's to the tune of $8 a month, which is about as affordable as you can get for 30 days of content, and content that's 2 to 3 articles, if not more, per day. And that's at JerryRatcliffe.com. Judah Wickower is behind the camera. He's a Virginia Sports Hall of Famer with 50-plus years on the beat, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jerry Miller. The Jerry and Jerry Show, the I Love CVille Show, guys, is up at 12:30.
Thank you,
So
guys.
long, everybody.
Bye-bye.